They told us to work hard, get good grades, be nice, respect authority, and play by the rules. But where the fuck has that gotten you? You're invisible, ignored by your peers, watching less capable men get exactly what you were promised. The thing is, you were promised everything, and you've got fuck all. The system was never designed for you to win. Now, the primary purpose of the system is to keep you docile, broke, and obedient. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why the game is rigged, why you keep losing, and the one thing that you can do to set yourself free. Now, I want you to understand this thing. This isn't theory. This is a war against the system. And I'm not using that word lightly at all. What you're about to learn are the rules they never wanted you to know. So lock in. For those of you who don't know, my name's Imtiaz, and I help men who are sick of being overlooked in the modern world. They followed all the rules and they got nowhere. Men who are furious that they were lied to. Men who refuse to stay invisible anymore. I've helped hundreds of men break out of the system, not through therapy, not through finding yourself, through rebuilding them into someone who commands respect naturally. Now, before you think this is another self-help channel, some feel-good bullshit, it's not. This is about power, status, and respect. The things that actually matter for men in the real world, not for the weak. Now, I came across this concept about 13 years ago, and it's a concept that was taught to me by a guy called Stuart Wilde, funnily on YouTube. And at the time, I was broke, in debt. I was grinding my arse off and not making any money. It completely changed my life, and I hope it's going to change yours. So let's go. Now, before we kick in with the training, if you want access to free resources and to join the community of men just like yourself, check out the first line of the description. All you've got to do is DM me the keyword and I'll fire over the link. So let's go. So the way that they've got you trapped, I call it the Trinity Trap, and it works on 3 levels. You've got financial slavery, social conditioning, and isolation. And I'll talk you through each single one. So on the financial slavery layer, you go to school and they train you to be a worker bee because they want you smart enough to work and make profits for them, but not smart enough to figure shit out for yourself. The next thing that they do is they brainwash you with a sense of ownership. The belief that you are going to own things in this world. Newsflash, you die. Everything that you own currently, somebody owned before, even your house. And once you go, somebody else is going to own it. So the whole sense of ownership and the status that comes along with it is false. It's a false narrative. And finally, scarcity programming. They make you believe that there is not enough to go around. You've heard that Tesco slogan, every little helps. But what is that actually saying? What is that programming your brain to think? There is not enough to go around. That you've got to scrimp and save to get to the top. The second layer, social conditioning, is prevalent in your social circles, in society as a whole. Now, we are all conditioned, whether it's from our parents, from people at school, from people that we work with certain lies. Like money is the root of all evil. Being ambitious is greedy, apparently. Masculinity is toxic. That you need to be nice to succeed. Now, every one of those is designed to keep you weak. So these are common lies that are believed by everyone in your circle, in most circles. The truth about money isn't evil. The love of money is evil, putting it above everything else. That's the real problem. But money itself is power, it's freedom, it's leverage, and they don't want you to have it. Next, we've got the echo chamber. So the echo chamber is the conversations that you have with the people in your network, in your circle. Things like, it's hard out there. Is it really? I think we live in a time where you can make money sitting from a laptop by pressing a few buttons. So it's not really that hard. Or things like, people just aren't spending right now. Or the market is saturated. It's an echo chamber of failure. And if you're in it, you need to get out now. And the final layer is isolation. So you finally decided to start the business. You decided to go against the grain. But the thing is, your friends and family think you're an absolute psycho. They just don't get it. They think you're crazy. You feel like you're bragging when you're talking about your goals and your ambitions. Now, this isn't an accident. They will purposely attach guilt to your ambition. Now, the system's strategy is all about isolation. Anyone who tries to escape, they're going to be put in detention, just like you were in school. Now, when you're alone, you're easier to control. You're easy to break down and convince to come back to safety. Now, this is the hidden truth that nobody's going to tell you. The isolation is temporary. On the other side of the isolation is a brotherhood of men just like you. Men who've broken free. Men who are going to push you further than you've ever gone before. But first, you have to survive the isolation, that lonely phase that every man goes through. You have to make it through. You have to keep moving when everyone tells you to stop. Even when your own mind tells you to stop. That is the key here. So let me just give you a breakdown of what the typical pyramid looks like. You start off as this low-skilled worker. And everyone starts here. Listen, I'm a kid off a council estate. And the things that I used to buy when I was younger was clothes, trainers. You know, when people opt in for raffles where they try to win a Rolex or a car, that sort of shit. And at that point, you look flash, but broke. Then you realize I need to upskill. You become a high-skill worker. This is when people get into corporate jobs. And they prioritize mortgages, credit cards, and car finance because of that sense of ownership that you've been brainwashed with. But in reality, all they are is scared of money. They have a scarcity mindset. And the funny thing is, these people are the most money-focused people on the planet. Imagine going to a job that you hate for 8 hours a day, sitting next to people that you barely know, for a boss that you despise and you wouldn't mind if he died, just for the sake of money. That's money-focused. But these are the same people that shit on people who have got ambitions, that want to grow a business. I mean, it's hypocritical. And then you become the freedom fighter. You become the business owner, the guy who's clawing his way to the top. And these people tend to opt in for free courses like a lot of you guys do, podcasts, books. But at the same time, they are stuck, lonely, and stressed. So the question is, what do you do? What do you do? What do you think is the rational option here? Climb a better pyramid. Simple as that. Climb a different mountain. Go a different way. And I'm going to share with you the Ascension Framework. Once again, this is a different pyramid. This is the syndicate pyramid, and this is how I work with the people inside my program. So the bottom layer, personal development. You've got to understand why you are in the position you are in terms of your finances is because you have low-level skills. But once you upgrade skills, that creates leverage. That allows you to demand more from the market, okay? Now, how we're going to monetize that is by building a personal brand. Now, a lot of you guys don't want to get on camera. You're shy. The biggest mistake you make is giving a fuck what people think. And the thing is, the people that you are scared of, the thoughts and the opinions that you are scared of and the people that they are coming from don't actually matter because they are never going to buy your thing. Because if it was a case of building the life that you wanted and the finances you wanted with the people you've already got around you, you would have already done it. Next, we need to increase our IQ. Now, IQ has got nothing to do with passing exams like they have you doing in school. That's just memory. IQ is problem solving, your ability to solve problems. Time management. The amount of people that can't account for their time is ridiculous. Everyone's hyper distracted. I mean, I speak to a lot of guys, a lot of my clients, when they first come into the program, and one of the concerns that they have is, I haven't got the time to adhere to the program. But if you look at your screen time, if you look at the time that you spend on Instagram, mentally masturbating, there's your time. You're just distracted. And finally, strength. I'm talking about physical strength. The reason why you need physical strength in this day and age is somebody who's smart, somebody who's got skills, and somebody who's physically fit is there for the long haul. They've got the stamina it takes to win. That's layer number one. Layer number two, power network. The network that you're currently in is actually holding you back. Now, it's not your fault, but it's your responsibility to change it. You want to get into circles that talk about money, aren't scared to talk about money. I think it's a very British thing where people don't like talking about money. I don't mind it at all. You want to get around other legacy builders, not freedom fighters. There's a slight difference. I'll talk you through that in a later episode. You want people who are going to challenge you. The worst place to be, the worst circles to be in, are circles where everyone's a yes man. Because there's no growth there. If everyone's agreeing with your approach and with your thoughts, you are not going to grow. You need people that are going to call you out and also look at your blind spots. That's key. You want to get around people who've got an abundant mindset, who aren't operating from a place of scarcity. People who believe that there is enough out there for everyone. Look, If all the money was split equally between all the people in the world, we would all be millionaires. It's straight maths, it's simple maths. And that's exactly why I've created the Syndicate. The Syndicate is a network of men who do exactly that. We aren't scared to talk about money, we operate from abundance, and we get the best out of each other by challenging each other. And finally, we've got this, the top layer, legacy building. This is where you focus on impact. And this is where your work and your existence positively impacts as many people as possible on the deepest level possible. So that is the pyramid that you want to be climbing, not the one I showed you before. So on the second pyramid, we need to go from student to contributor to legacy builder. Now, students need to be humble, eager, and organized. So if you are low skilled, that's absolutely fine. I'm not looking down on you because I was as well. And what you need to do is invest in coaches, mentors, and productivity. Anything that keeps you productive, anything that keeps you focused. The next level, you need to make sure that you're operating from an abundant mindset. You focus on giving instead of taking, and you work on connecting. And the key things that you need to do at this level is make sure that you are serving others. Go with a giving hand, not with a taking hand, and you solve big problems using the skills that you've acquired in this section here. And finally, we've got legacy builders. Legacy builders build up others. Leaders create leaders. And at this point, you'll be fulfilled and very passionate about what you do. Now, for the Ascension Framework to work, you need to understand that you are the investment, not crypto, not trading, not anything else, you. How do you get better? How do you invest in your skills, your network, so you can serve others on a deeper level? I love this quote. Those who chase money will never have mattered, but those who chase legacy and impact will get everything they ever wanted and more. And I think a lot of us in this day and age are self-serving and we worry about how the world can serve us instead of the other way around. But when you're like that, you end up unfulfilled and lonely in the end. And that's what you're trying to escape. So how do you start building your pyramid? Action 1, you've got to audit your development. So ask yourself these questions. What skills have you learned in the last 90 days? Just have a think about that for a second. Have you picked up anything new? Have you learned any new information? Secondly, how much time do you invest in learning versus consuming? Most of you are consumers, not creators, not learners. And finally, are you physically stronger than you were 6 months ago? This day and age, everyone is sedentary. Everyone's sitting around a desk. I sit at a desk for the majority of the day, but I make a conscious effort to get out, to train, and look after my body. Now, if you can't answer these clearly, you're not building the foundation. You're not building layer 1. So that's where you need to start. Action number 2, audit your network. Who are you spending the most time with? Think of the 5 people. Do they talk about money openly or do they avoid it? Is it a bit of a taboo subject? Are they building or are they maintaining? Are they aiming for something higher or are they happy where they are? And finally, do they challenge you or do they enable your excuses? Are they yes men? If your closest 5 people aren't where you want to be, you need new people, unfortunately. Now, I'm not saying cut off people that you grew up with. What I'm saying is you need to find a new group of people to lean into that you can sharpen your tools with. Iron sharpens iron. I know it's a bit of a gay saying, but it's true. And finally, action number 3, define your legacy. We are all going to pass away one day, eventually. That is the reality of life. It's the only thing that is guaranteed to us. And we go around this world looking at material things and this whole sense of ownership. It's bollocks. It's wrong. It's false. So I'm not talking about your financial goals. Of course, we want nice things and experiences as we go through life. But the question you want to ask yourself is, what do you want to be remembered for? Nobody's going to remember you for having a fucking Lambo. On your deathbed, at your funeral, people aren't going to say, oh, do you remember that Lambo you had? That was ace. No one gives a fuck. The second question is, how many lives do you want to impact? We're talking about breadth here. How many people do you want to impact? And what problem will you solve that matters? Here we're talking about depth. So breadth and depth. Now, if you don't have the answers, you are still money driven and you also stay trapped. I'm going to cover that later in this series. So let's run through this again. Let's finalize this so it's clear in your mind. Number 1, they trap you financially with debt that is disguised as ownership. Level 2, they condition you to think small, play safe, and accept scarcity as a way of life. And level 3, when you do try to climb out, they isolate you, they kill your movement, and they stop you from breaking free. Now, this is the thing that the people at the top fear. The system can only trap you if you believe in it, if you give it power. The moment that you stop believing in scarcity, you break free. You stop playing small. You stop playing by their rules. You start building yourself into someone they can't ignore. And the game changes for you. You don't need permission. You don't need their approval. You need one thing, and that is development. Develop yourself, your skills, your mindset, your presence. Become someone that they cannot ignore. And that is the only way out. The only way out. Now, in the next episode, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. But first, you need to make a decision. Now, if you are ready to stop playing by their rules, stop playing their game and start playing your own, I've created a free community for you guys. What I want you to do is check out the description and DM me the keyword to my Instagram. What I'll do, I'll put you onto the email list where I share free resources, loads of other training to help you out so you can break free. So what we've covered today completely changed my life. And I know it can change yours if you go and apply it. Knowledge isn't the issue, implementation is. So make sure you put it to use. I'll catch you on the next one.